Is in Tallahassee this morning, and Mark, you spoke to the accuser's attorney yesterday. What did she have to say?
Well, we had a lengthy conversation, Sarah, and she told me a number of things about the state of mind of the young client who left school last Wednesday because, as Patricia Carroll, her attorney, said, she couldn't take it anymore. Her life had been turned upside down again. She was trying to make a life here at Florida State. She was rah, rah, rah FSU, but when the news broke, she had to go home and recover her life again. I asked Patricia Carroll about accusations that the accuser is trying to take advantage and capitalize upon Jameis Winston's fame, his run to the Heisman Trophy, and his team's run to a potential national championship. And here's what she told me about her client's motivation. She said that is absolutely untrue. This is a victim of rape, which occurred on December 7th. She identified this guy sometime in January. This whole situation, think about it. If she wanted to ruin this guy, she would have done it a long time ago. She's not someone with any interest in ruining the football team. If this victim was interested in notoriety, why would she have not taken any action all this time? It only came out when someone from the press got a hold of this. She was trying to move on with her life, and there was no benefit to her. I also asked Patricia Carroll about her contacts with Detective Scott Angulo of the Tallahassee Police Department. She told me that she asked the detective to let her know when he got Jameis Winston's DNA to help inform her client's decision about whether to go forward with charges. She says she was told specifically by Angulo, "I am not going to collect his DNA." She said, "What do you mean? You have to preserve the evidence." His response, she says, was, "I don't want to alert Mr. Winston that he is a suspect because it could get out to the public." She said after a time, she continued to call Angulo until he stopped returning her calls. She said the only time that her client asked out of this investigation was just briefly so she could seek counseling, but never did she ask to drop the charges or stop pursuing this matter against Jameis Winston once she identified him last January. Patricia Carroll, the accuser's attorney, confirmed to me that yes, her client did meet with Willie Meggs, the state attorney, and his staff at some point on Thursday. Now I bring in ESPN college football reporter Mark Schlabach. They met. What does that mean for the timetable?
Well, Willie Meggs told me on Wednesday that he still believed his staff was on schedule to decide whether or not Jameis Winston should face charges by the end of this week or possibly next week. Obviously, determining whether or not the accuser would cooperate was a big part of this investigation.
You know, Mark, some say that the accuser is out to destroy Jameis Winston or perhaps capitalize on his fame. When I asked the attorney, Patricia Carroll, that, she said if she wanted to ruin this guy, she would have done so a lot.
What people should ask is, why is it being leaked? For what purpose? Is all the interviews being leaked? Are the affidavits from the two eyewitnesses being leaked? It's not. And there's a question we have. Why is that? We want this to be an independent, fair evaluation. And we understand it's a high-profile case. But that does not void public officials of their duties, that they should comply with their rules of ethics. We're going to look into and find out who leaked this information. It's not fair to Mr. Winston. His reputation has been tarnished. It's been all over the airwaves about this DNA. This DNA has no impact whatsoever on his case. The two eyewitnesses that were present will exonerate him.
And here's a look at the timeline of events in the Jameis Winston sexual assault investigation. December 7th of last year is when the alleged sexual assault occurs. The following February, Winston's attorney was contacted by the police. He was told that no charges were filed. Winston was never interviewed by the police. Last week on Wednesday, the case was turned over to the state attorney, and late last night, ESPN reports a Florida crime lab connects a DNA sample taken from Jameis Winston to the woman, accusing him of the December 2012